What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Joined by your guy Krabs and Iain again for Hammer ATTS, presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Iain, how we doing going into Wildcard Weekend? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's finally some important football, some exciting football. It's playoff football. The last couple of weeks, I feel like we're like a little bit boring in the NFL, so I'm excited to get back to meaningful football, and also I'm excited, Krabs, because we're hot. We're hot on this show.
Don't let the boys get hot. All right? Don't let us get hot. Up 8 units. Sorry, 7.9. Hashtag transparency. Up 7.9 units last week. Our best show ever by far. And it got us almost back to 500. I think we might be down a unit for the year. So we've got some work to do, and we've only done a couple apps, right? The odds are against us, no pun intended. But we're absolutely attacking on a limited slate with 6 games, less games, but all games that matter. Like you said, there should be some good ones, and there should be some points, right? So plenty of opportunity to find some value on some of these ATTSs. And like we always do, chats, if you guys have any questions, obviously ask us, but we're going to go through our 3 different tiers of ATTS scorers. We got our Thor tier 1, our best ATTS of the week. We've got our Sledgehammer tier 2, 2 of our favorite plays, not as good as the Thor tier, but close. And then we've got the Mallet tier 3, a couple other ATTSs we like as well. And that's where we're going to start. We'll build up from there. That way you got to stick around and listen to our favorite ATTS of the week. So without further ado, let's cut the shit. Let's wipe the smiles off our faces and let's get to work because we got fucking bets to hit. You ready, Iain?
Yes.
Let's get it. Mallet tier 3. I'll get it started here, and it would not be a Hammer ATTS app if I didn't pick a defense to score. And I swear to God, I'm hitting one, Iain. I'm doing it. I'm hitting one. I'm not giving up. Most would give up at this point. I'm not doing it.
I respect it.
I'm hitting one. I'm hitting a fatty. We have great value here on the Ravens defense to score a touchdown. And you know what? I don't even need the special teams. You can keep them. They're not returning shit. This is going to be a defensive touchdown from the Ravens, who I think potentially might shock the world this weekend and upset the Bengals, who seems like should be the surest, freest advance of the playoffs so far. I'm not so sure. And I think Harbaugh is going to give an absolute coaching masterclass. I think this defense has played a lot better ball in the second half of the year. I like what I'm seeing out of them, and I think they're going to give the Bengals fits, seeing them for the 3rd time this season. Look, this is plus 1,200, right? This shit doesn't grow on trees. Defensive touchdowns don't happen a lot, but I like what I'm seeing out of this Ravens defense. There always seems to be some magic, with the Ravens in the playoffs. They might not, live up to competition or live up to expectations, but that defense is going to be cooking. I like the under in the game. I think there's going to be turnovers, and maybe Joe Burrow doesn't look like Tom Brady 2.0 yet. So give me that plus 1,200 on Baltimore defense to score a touchdown.
That's a quick way for us to get profitable for the season.
Sure. That's all we're going to do is hit that. Boom.
Perfect. I think we could lose every other pick. I think we'd still finish profitable, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. My first pick of the show, I always like to give out a guy who maybe I don't have a ton of stats to back it up, but it's always a gut feeling pick to start off the show. Someone who I like. And I'm going to pick my darling of the show. I think I've picked him 2 or 3 times before. He did cash for us last week, and that is of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Christian Kirk. I got him at around plus 155 here in this spot. He did score for us last week. I have picked him a couple times. I feel like I owe him one for cashing for us last week. And him and the Jaguars are hot. Could be this year's version of the Bengals from last year. Trevor Lawrence is probably arguably the best quarterback in the NFL in the second half of the season. He's slinging it. Might be a little bit of a shootout against the Chargers here, Herbert against Lawrence. So I'll take my guy, Christian Kirk, for my gut feeling pick of the week.
Okay. Stick with your guy. He's came through so far. I like it. I like the Jags in that game. I think we see points in that game. So good W script for that play. All right. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy, ATTS, for my second mallet tier here at plus 600. Look, I thought it was a little suspect, a little weird that they were hanging up Brock Purdy's 1.5 touchdown passes on Prize Picks this week when they don't have a bunch of guys up. When he's cleared that number in pretty much every game he's played in this season, at least in his last 5, he's been absolutely on fire. He's not looking like Mr. Irrelevant. He's looking like Mr. Relevant. Here's the deal, though. That under is one of my favorite props of the weekend, and I know it's on ATTS. But personally, I think Brock is going to have to be using his legs a little bit this week. I think it's going to be a closer game than most are expecting in this one, to be completely honest with you. With the Seahawks, I think it'll be close, and I could see it like it was yesterday. One of those great receivers, Debo, or Ayuk drawing something in the end zone, then putting the ball in the one, and then them just sneaking it in with Brock. And also, I think they want to limit his passes in this game just overall. So I like Brock to get in at plus 600. I could see it be a read option. I could see it be a QB sneak. The kid can move a little bit, and I think the game will be closer than the spread tells us. So they might need him to sneak one in and run one in if they're struggling. Give me that at plus 600. Good value play.
So already some classic picks from you already. A defense and a quarterback. There's no touchdown picks you like better than quarterback and defense picks.
Oh yeah.
All right, my next. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'll say good value.
Yes.
What do you got?
Of course. I'm going to go with the Cowboy on Monday Night Football here. Noah Brown, plus 450.
Oof.
So a little bit of
TV.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, I don't know why, Dak Prescott loves throwing to this guy. It makes no sense. He's seen at least 6 targets in 3 of his last 5 games. He had a 2-touchdown game against the Jaguars a few weeks back. He's certainly not one of the Cowboys' top receivers, but for some reason, Dak loves him some Noah Brown. So at plus 450, I think he's going to at least see the targets for it. If one of those targets are in the end zone, if he catches it, I think it's a good value bet. Speaking of value, so Noah Brown plus 450 on Monday night against the Buccaneers, who the Buccaneers give up 1.7 passing touchdowns per game as well this season, which is one of the worst marks in the NFL. So I'll go Noah Brown.
Okay, W game script for this one as well. I think the Cowboys roll in this one. I think they have plenty of points. I like it.
Yes.
Speaking of QBs, I got another one. At plus money here for the Mallet tier. This one a little more reasonable. Plus 190, Daniel Jones, ATTS. We've seen what happens when this Giants offense stalls. They turn Daniel into a freaking running back. And I love Brian Dable coming over here and trying to make him into a little bit of a Josh Allen 2.0 here when things aren't going great and he's not looking as accurate. Run the damn ball. Read options, whatever you got to do. And they've made it very clear that on the goal line, they are more than willing to run the ball with Daniel Jones. We've seen him have some suspect passes in the red zone in big games at times in his career. So like I said, with Brock Purdy as a rookie, I think they're going to try to limit Daniel Jones' passes and mistakes just in general and play conservative and run the living crap out of the football. Give me Daniel Jones, ATTS at plus 190. Look, I know the Vikings rush defense is pretty decent, and I think Saquon will struggle a little bit. So I think in the second half, they might start turning to a bigger Daniel Jones to just get some yards whenever they need them, whenever it's only a couple at the goal line here too. So give me DJ, plus 190. Love this play.
I do like that one. I had him on my short list as well. I do like that play. If there was a quarter, I'm not a big guy who likes to bet quarterbacks to score touchdowns, but if there was one that I was going to pick this weekend, it was going to be Daniel Jones. So I do like that one. Is this the last Mallet pick?
Yep.
Yes, last Mallet pick. I'm going to go with Devin Singletary. I got him at plus 145. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think we're getting pretty good value on a team's top running back here. I know Josh Allen likes to carry the ball, especially close to the goal line, but plus 145 for Devin Singletary. He's already scored 6 touchdowns on the year, and he has a receiving touchdown already against the Dolphins this season. So look for him to potentially get involved in the passing game as well. In that game that he got a receiving touchdown against the Dolphins, he had 9 receptions for 78 yards. So maybe that's a weakness the Bills think they can exploit on the Dolphins, is target the running backs out of the backfield. If that's the case and they do it again, then I like this bet even more. So Devin Singletary, plus 145 to score for the Buffalo Bills on Sunday against the Dolphins.
Love it. I think they should have plenty of points. I like it. And God forbid, Josh Allen gets hurt trying to run a touchdown in. Let's give the ball to Singletary because he's a little replaceable.
Yes.
Hopefully he's not listening to this pod. If he is, I apologize. And if he is, we probably got some other questions. But let's head to Sledgehammers. Let's head to Sledgehammer Tier 2 here. You ready, Ian?
Yes.
I'll get us started off here with Alexander Madison, ATTS at plus 295. Look, there were some weird line discrepancies with this going on this week. I don't know if you saw that or not, but they opened up Madison around a pick'em to score on almost every book. Except for, 1 or 2, kind of weird. Now everything has corrected itself to be around, 270-ish. I got him in at plus 295. I think it might have been a mistake a little bit now that he's back to, plus 295 here, but I still like it personally. He's going up against one of the worst rush defenses in football. I think the highest total of the week, right? There's going to be points in this game. So I always like picking players in those spots, going along with the game script for the total. And look, Dalvin Cook is great and all, but he's been banged up his whole career and recently too. So if they get a big lead, I think even if they just get a lead, I think they'll be taking him out. I think they'll at least be, splitting carries here in the second half. And I would not be shocked to see Madison get in the end zone and find pay dirt here at almost plus 300. Talk about value. There's some more for you.
And he cashed for you last week too, didn't he?
Sure.
So there you go. Darling of the show.
Feed him.
Another darling
He
of the
loves
show.
heating up. He loves heating up at the end of the season. I don't know what it is.
Yes.
I think it's because Dalvin Cook gets a little banged up and they have a great backup in Madison. Feed him. Use him. Right?
Yep.
What do you got?
Love it. I'm going to stay with the same team. I'm going to take a Viking as well, but I'm going to go with a receiver here. I'm going to go KJ Osborne.
Love it.
Plus 290.
Love it. Yep.
This guy's secretly, quietly having a fantastic end of the season. He's kind of like a secret weapon for the Minnesota Vikings. He's had 100-plus yard games in 2 of his last 4 games. He scored 3 touchdowns in over his last 5 games. This is a guy who I think what's happening is I think defenses are, and probably a smart thing to do, just focusing on shutting down Justin Jefferson. I think that's why his production fell off a cliff near the end of the season. They're double teaming him. They're putting his safety over top. And what that's doing is actually completely opening up the defense for guys like KJ Osborne. He's been taking full advantage of it. So if the Giants decide to double team Justin Jefferson again, that's only going to open things up for KJ Osborne once again. So at plus 290, especially based on his production over the last few weeks, I love this bet for him to score for the Vikings.
So do I. I think you're going to see the Giants do a pretty decent job, or at least throw the kitchen sink at guys like JJ. And I think, it's either going to be Osborne or Thielen, who we haven't heard from in a while, to step up. And I like the way that Osborne has been trending of late, right? I feel like our guy Thielen has been kind of getting roasted on the TL recently for not being as mobile as he once was. I think this is the sharp pick. You got the young gun who's been heating up recently. Love this look.
Yeah.
I'm going to take another Cowboy. We've taken plenty already. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard, ATTS at plus 185. Look, I gave Zeke a look. I think he might find pay dirt here as well. Would not be shocked. Me personally, I think the Cowboys absolutely steamroll the Bucs. I think they run the ball down their throats. And I think both guys get in the end zone, but I like plus 185 better than around even at what Zeke is. And look, it's the playoffs, right? They can't risk giving the ball to their worst running back just because they pay him more. They can't. Give the ball to Tony Pollard. He's your best running back. Use him more. It's the playoffs. No more excuses for this bullshit. Give the ball to your best player, and you will have more success. I think both guys get in, but I like what I've been seeing out of Pollard, and I think they give the ball to their best running back more now that they're in the playoffs. Give me TP at plus 185.
Yep, love it. I like that quite a bit. I'm going to go for Sunday Night Football for my next one here. I'm going to go with Hayden Hurst, tight end for the Bengals here. I think I might have picked him back on the show before, but he dealt with some injuries late in the year, but he is back. He played 73% of snaps in Week 18 against the Ravens. He has a touchdown against the Ravens already this year. Back in Week 5, he's averaging 4 catches a game, 31.8 yards. I think the Ravens defense is going to give the Bengals a little bit of issue, so I think Joe Burrow might need to go to his tight end, a little bit of a security blanket there in the middle. So at, what did I say the odds are? 300, plus 300? I think Hayden Hurst is a pretty good bet there for the Bengals. I'm taking a little bit of some value bets, some long shots this week. I'm realizing as I'm going through them, so let's go.
I'm no mathematician, but the better the odds, right? The longer they are, the less you got to hit.
That's a fact.
I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure that lines up. Somebody fact check me, all right?
Dr. Krabs.
Awesome, sure. Growing up, I wanted to be a doctor, and then I realized I think I like betting on sports too much. Yeah. It is what it is. Dr. Locks, that could have been my alter ego. Oh. Anyways, back to work, all right? We're on to the sledgehammer tier. Am I correct?
Yes.
We are.
No. And we're on to the Thor's hammer, aren't we?
The Thor Tier 1. Yes. Our favorite ATS of the weekend. I am so stoked for this one. And look, mine's got a minus sign on it too. So you guys aren't going to feel like I'm forcing a defense play here. This one is hitting, just like all the square minus bets I've been taking here over the last couple weeks, like Derrick Henry and guys to score. I'm doing it again. I'm going back to the well. I'm not fearing the juice. I'm embracing it, and I'm taking Austin Eckler to find pay dirt. I am all over Austin Eckler in this game. All his props are high as shit, whether it's his receiving targets or whatever. I think he's going to have an absolute field day. And me personally, I don't really see a world where he doesn't find the end zone, especially now that Mike Williams is out. I think they run the ball a lot, or at least try to. And even if that's not working, Eckler's a receiver too, straight up. So I think he can find the end zone a bunch of different ways, hence why he's minus 155 to score in this game. And I think there's going to be points in this game too, right? One of the higher totals of the week, going back and forth. And, with a younger quarterback like Justin Herbert, maybe it'll be good to rely on a guy who's been around a couple more years than Austin Eckler, who's an absolute grinder. Nobody else deserves a touchdown more than this guy with the way he works. Best work ethic in the NFL. Feed him, reward him. He's a dog, minus 155. Book that shit for Austin Eckler, ATTS.
Best work ethic in the NFL, Austin Eckler.
He is a monster. I don't know if you've gotten to see his videos in the offseason, but the guy trains like a freak. He is not a naturally he would not naturally just be an elite. He's no Zeke, right?
Well, I think he's even, isn't he undrafted too?
He's from a random McGee school,
yeah,
probably. Yeah, he's an absolute menace. Great story. He's no Zeke, who's just been handed everything and is lazy and he's going to get his job taken. This is Austin Eckler. He fucking runs the show, and he's the best offensive weapon for the Chargers this week. He's finding the end zone.
Yeah, I like it. Most touchdowns in the NFL this year. I like that bet. I'm going to go with someone, once again, sticking with my theme the entire show of guys who I think have value, a little bit longer odds. Tyreek Hill at plus 200. How about that?
Okay.
I understand Skylar Thompson's throwing him the ball. That hurts him a little bit. I would guess that's probably why his odds are 2-1, but I still think he's worth a shot at that price. Scored 8 times already this season. Has a touchdown against the Bills just a few weeks ago in Week 15. He has 119 receptions on the season. That's a lot of catches. That's a lot of catches and a lot of opportunities to score. So, and maybe with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, maybe they even try to get Tyreek the ball on the ground. Maybe a couple jet sweeps, possibly. Couple scoring opportunities. So, I get it's 2-1 because of their quarterback right now. It's not Tua, but I still think there's some value there. He's going to be the best receiver in the game. Get him the ball and let him score. 2-1. I think it's worth a shot.
Let's not act like Tua has looked, incredible when he's been in during the second half when he's been healthy enough to go out there, right? So Don't hate it at all. I think they're going to have to take some shots down the field just to open up the field a little bit. So you're going to get some chances, and with the fastest receiver and debatably one of the best receivers of all time, you're in good hands. All it takes is one to break away from one route. So Skylar Thompson, I think he's better than people think. And me personally, I'm going to be on the Dolphins on Sunday spread. A little bonus pick for you, a little bonus content. I'm going to be on the spread and holding on for dear life. It is what it is. That's too many damn points for a playoff game. Don't care who's playing QB. Don't care if it's me or you. Doesn't matter. They'll keep that within 13.5, and they're probably going to need Tyreek to get in the end zone to do so. So let's get after it. Absolutely love it. The word of the day today is value, and you picked some great plays, my man. Love it. And then also can't forget about the Baltimore defense, the value play of the millennium at plus 1,200. Okay. Austin Eckler, ATTS. Tyreek Hill, ATTS for our favorite ones of the weekend. Chat, hope you guys have a great weekend, successful betting-wise. Have a great time. Enjoy the playoffs. Enjoy NFL while it's still here, okay? Because it's going away soon, all right? So enjoy it. Bet responsibly. As always, Ian, appreciate you running this with me, my man. This is your episode of Hammer ATTS, presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Good luck out there this weekend, guys.